What's going on, guys? It is Hunter here, and today I'm going to be doing my playoff predictions as of November 24th, 2021. Ignore the 2018 and 2019. That's just a picture I used. And yeah, so basically, guys, I'm going to be showing you guys who I think is going to be in the top 4 at the end of the year in the playoffs. I'm going to show you who I think is going to win the whole thing and by how many points. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first team here I got, number 1, no surprise, is Georgia. I have them beating Alabama in the SEC Championship. I think they'll take care of business there. And I think they'll come in the 1 seed as long as they don't look really bad. And the team number 2 I'm about to get into doesn't look insanely good. At number 2, I have Ohio State. If you watch my podcast with my friends, if you haven't, I recommend you go do that, Boogie Pod, on this channel. But I actually picked Michigan to beat Ohio State this weekend. It was more of a shot in the dark. But I feel more safe with my playoff prediction to be Ohio State. If Michigan does beat Ohio State, though, all you do is slide in Michigan here at this Ohio State spot. But I will stick with, for now, Ohio State. But I'm also thinking Michigan's going to beat them. But I'm not confident, and if Michigan beats Ohio State, Michigan's also going to beat Wisconsin. As confident I am in Ohio State, if that makes any sense. So I'm picking Michigan to win this week. But if Ohio State wins, they're going to be in this 2 spot. If Michigan wins, they're going to be in that 2 spot. And I feel more confident that if Ohio State beats Michigan, they'll beat Wisconsin. Then if Michigan beats Ohio State, they'll beat Wisconsin. So I'm going to go with Ohio State here at 2. This could very easily be Michigan. That was pretty confusing. But we're going to go Ohio State here. All right, let's go look at the number 3 team. Now, this is where it got kind of hard for me, going in right here to the number 3 team. But you got to think of your options here, okay? So we'll say favorites win out. That's kind of the way I took this, right? Favorites win out from where we are today. Okay? You would have 13-0 Georgia, SEC champs. All right? You would have 12-1 Ohio State Big Ten champs, as I got 2, right? You would have 13-0 Cincinnati American champs, okay? You would have 11-1 Notre Dame, okay? You would also have Oklahoma State 12-1 Big 12 champs. And then you would have UTSA 13-0 Conference USA champs. Go ahead and get rid of UTSA. I had to put them in there just as respect. They're undefeated, but they're not even going to be top 10. They're not going to make it unless there's like completely chaos. That'd be crazy, but no way. So it really leads you down to Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. So we already have 2 of those off the board, right? And that leaves Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State for 3, 4, and 5. That doesn't mean necessarily the team I leave out is going to be 5. I'm just saying 3 and 4 will be one of those 3 teams if favorites win out, right? Well, you think of that, right? And you got the head-to-head win, Cincinnati over Notre Dame. Notre Dame also doesn't play in the conference, so they don't get a conference championship game to prove they're elite. You have Oklahoma State, who would be coming off. So that kind of leads you with Oklahoma State and Cincinnati for 3 and 4. Well, who's going to be 3? Who's going to be 4? I think what's going to happen, and if I was on the chair, and if you've watched my channel, kept up my channel, watched me on the podcast, I defend Cincinnati with everything I have. I love this Cincinnati team. I think they're fun. I love the story. I love the Cinderella story. But I got to go Oklahoma State. There's no way you're a Big 12 champion, Power 5, and you were sitting there watching a Group of 5 team who went undefeated to be in front of you. There's no way. So if I have Oklahoma State at 3, that leaves Notre Dame and Cincinnati at 4. You got to go head-to-head. Notre Dame doesn't even play in a conference. Cincinnati's going to be conference champions undefeated. They'll be at number 4. They'll be the first Group of 5 team to ever make the playoffs, in my opinion, as of today, November 24th, 2021. Again, ignore the college football playoff 2020, 2019 thing. I'm not putting a little edit thing there just so you guys just ignore that. Ignore that. Okay? So these are my playoffs. This is my playoff right here. I got Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and Cincinnati. Man, is that crazy? We have 2 new teams in here, Oklahoma State and Cincinnati. We haven't seen them in a while. We've never seen them in the college football playoffs. And Cincinnati being the first Group of 5 team, and Oklahoma State finally representing someone different out of that Big 12, right? Well, who's going to win these games? Okay, so we'll go over the first one here, Georgia and Cincinnati. I love, again, the Cincinnati story, but Georgia's just too good. Now, these 2 teams are actually a lot more similar than you think they are, as both teams are very elite on defense. However, it's hard to judge Cincinnati's offense and defense based off the teams they played, even though Notre Dame right now is technically the best win in the country. And it was at Notre Dame. It's a great win, and that's the reason why they're in here. but it's still hard to take their stats with a grain of stats. Or, what? With a grain of salt, right? Georgia, on the other hand, has played the elite in the SEC, and they have road stomped everybody. Now, their SEC schedule is easier than Alabama's SEC schedule or Texas A&M's this year. However, Georgia is still playing SEC and still playing Power 5 schools week in and week out, and they're putting out even better numbers than Cincinnati. So, on paper, eye test, any way you really look at this game besides a shot in the dark by Cincinnati, Georgia's going to win. And even though I'm going with the Michigan shot in the dark to beat Ohio State on the podcast, won't be on this one. I got the Bulldogs 31-17. And I actually think I might have changed this number. I swear I changed this number. Maybe I didn't. Huh. Oh, sorry. You guys just got a peek at that. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's how I changed this number. I actually have 31, I think 22. I think it's going to be a pretty decently close game, actually. With the Cinderella story about Cincinnati and stuff. But Georgia eventually just going to overwhelm them and get the win. And I already showed you this one by accident, but there you go. I'll show it to you now. I actually have Ohio State beating Oklahoma State in a great game, 31-25. I actually think Oklahoma State's defense is really good. Really good. Top 5 in the country, even really good. And you have 3, and if you look at these playoffs, last year the story was offense, right? The last 2 years, LSU's offense, Alabama's offense. This playoff, to me, seems a lot more like defense. You got Oklahoma State's defense, Cincinnati's defense, Georgia's defense. But there's one team in there that has offense, and that's Ohio State. And I'm giving them the edge here, Oklahoma State. And even Ohio State, they have a better defense than they portray. And, yeah, I feel like people gave up on this defense at the beginning of the year. But looking at it on numbers, looking at it on paper, this defense is a lot better than what people give them credit for. So, I got Ohio State win this game 31-25. I think this is going to be a great game. Oklahoma State's probably going to come in at like 10, 12, 14-point dogs here. And I think they actually cover that. And I think Oklahoma State kind of shows, hey, we belong here, but we're just not there yet. Yeah, they're just not there yet. Just not there yet. And so I got Oklahoma State losing this game in a tight one. Again, pretty close. I think Georgia... Oh, there it is, 31-22. Okay, so it fits its number, but... On the other side, I just have it wrong. Okay, so, yeah, for Georgia, I have it 31-22 in a great game. I actually think this one comes down to a wire, and I think this is going to be one of the best playoffs we've had in a long time. I know, you look at these scores and stuff, and you're like, okay, well, if Ohio State and Oklahoma State played right now, I would never even think that game would be that close. Or if Georgia and Cincinnati, you would definitely not think the game would be that close. But remember last year, Georgia and Cincinnati playing a bowl game. Cincinnati's better, and I know Georgia's better than that team was last year. But that was a JT Daniels, Georgia. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. My camera went out for some reason, but we're back. But anyways, like I was saying, Ohio State beats Oklahoma State in a great game, and I think Georgia beat Cincinnati. I think this game's a little bit, like you could tell Georgia was the better team throughout this whole game. But I think Cincinnati gets a late TD just to a last little hurrah here, make it a pretty close game. So then we got Georgia and Ohio State in the national championship. Wow, 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 wow. As of recently, Ohio State's played better in Georgia. And Ohio State has looked like a really good team. That makes me want to pick Ohio State. But not so fast, my friend. And I got Georgia, 30-28 in a great game. A great game. I think Georgia's defense is just too good. They held the Buckeyes, 28 points here. That's 4 touchdowns. That's still, a good amount of touchdowns. But I think Georgia gets the edge right here. 30 points scored against Ohio State. I think Georgia's offense actually doesn't look too bad. They run the ball really well in this game. And I think they win. And Georgia's your natties. Your national championship team. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment. Go in the comments and tell me what you think the playoffs are going to look like and who your national championship team is. Leave some scores in there too. I'd love to see how you guys think these games would go. Tell me where I went wrong. Tell me what you guys disagree with. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Go follow my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at boogie_sports_. The last underscore is not on there, but that's what it is. And they'll also be in the description below. And yeah, go check out some of my other videos, and even go check out the podcast, guys. We do a podcast every Monday at 8:15, talking all sports. It's the Boogie Pod. So I appreciate your guys' time. Have a great day. Peace.